serpent, a flying reptile, much like a dragon, who was a boundary maker and transgressor between earth and sky. Right? Because the serpent to the Israelites, well, to the Mexicans and different tribes, it represented like what do you call it, like a force between the heavens and the earth. It was a representation of the heaven and the earth, basically. It was like the middleman, and Yahushua is the mediator, right? So it says, who was a boundary maker and transgressor between earth and sky. He was also a creator deity, having contributed essentially to the creation of mankind, which Yahushua, right? He was the one that created everything. It tells that in the scriptures. It tells that in Colossians 1:15. He created principalities and everything, man. It says down here, he was known as the inventor of books and the calendar, the giver of maize, which is corn, to mankind, and sometimes is a symbol of death and resurrection, right? Quetzalcoatl was also the patron of the priests and the title of the twin Aztec high priests. Down here it says, Quetzalcoatl went to Mictlan, the underworld, and created fifth world mankind from the bones of the previous races, using his own blood from a wounds he inflicted on his earlobes, caries, tongue, and penis to imbue the bones with new life. Now that's, they're going off, because people say, that's the Aztecs are Israelites, that's why they were sacrificing people. That's the reason why the Spaniards came and totally destroyed their ass, man. Because we were wicked. That's why all hell came on us. It didn't just come one day. Columbus said, let me go there, and then these natives, let me kill the hell out of them, rape their women, just totally massacre and butcher them. It happened because we went off. I think there's some down here. No, that was it on that. Yeah, and then I'm gonna go into this article. This is called The White God Quetzalcoatl, which you could type it in Google, which we're gonna show you after that he wasn't an Edomite, just because he was represented as white. Alright, so I'm gonna read this. It says, virtually all 16th century writers wrote about a white god called Quetzalcoatl, Quetzalcoatl. This tradition is strong and repetitive. Every school child in Mexico studies Quetzalcoatl and knows the importance of his role. The symbol of the serpent has long been associated with deities of Mexico and Guatemala. In the Aztec language, the word Cuatl means serpent. By placing the Aztec word Quetzal in front of the word Cuatl, we have the word Quetzalcoatl. The word Quetzal means feathers. A beautiful bird native to Guatemala carries the name Quetzal. Quetzalcoatl therefore means feathered serpent, or serpent with precious feathers. The word Quetzal is the name of the coin in Guatemala, and also is the national symbol of the country. Alright, it says, in all of America's past, no figure is more exciting, more tantalizing, or more frustrating than that of the fair god Quetzalcoatl. Alright, the story of the life of the Mexican divinity Quetzalcoatl closely resembles that of the Savior, so close indeed that we can come to no other conclusion that Quetzalcoatl and Christ are the same being. It says, similarities of Christ and Quetzalcoatl include the following. Both Christ and Quetzalcoatl were recognized as creator of all things. It says, both Christ and Quetzalcoatl performed miracles. They both taught the ordinance of baptism. They both prophesied of future events. The cross was a symbol to both Christ and Quetzalcoatl. They both sent out disciples to preach their word. They both promised they would come a second time. And then it says, the children of both Christ and Quetzalcoatl will become lords and heirs of the earth. Alright, that's some information right there. I'm going to go with serpent representation. You could type this in, Mexico at Mexico lore. It's like, Aztecs at Mexico lore. Right down here it says, in the language of the Aztecs, Nahuatl, Cuatl can mean both snake and twin. It says, by extension, it can mean, in Gordon Brothertson's words, cooperation, community, social counterpart, a notion alive today in the Mexican term cuate, friend or mate. So the word cuatl can also mean friend, so it can mean the feathered friend. Now the feathers, what do feathers represent? Feathers represent flight. Or he didn't have feathers, he actually came in chariots. Alright, matter of fact, that's in the scripture. Let's get Isaiah 68. Isaiah 68 and start at 13. It says, though ye have lion among the pots, yet shall ye be as the wings of a dove, covered with silver, and her feathers with yellow gold. Because the chariots, remember, they're made out of gold and silver, man, and that's what that represents. It says the wings of a dove. Now when you go to one second, Isaiah chapter 60, Isaiah 60 and 8, right? It says, who are these that fly as a cloud and as the doves to their windows? So the doves represent the chariots, so the feathers represent the chariots. Alright, though ye have lined among the pots, yet shall ye be as the wings of a dove, covered with silver, and her feathers with yellow gold. When the Almighty scattered kings in it, it was white as snow in Salmon. The hill of the Most High is as the hill of Bashan, and high hill as the hill of Bashan. Why leap ye high hills? This is the hill which the Most High desireth to dwell in. Yea, the Lord will dwell in it forever. The chariots of the Most High are 20,000, even thousands of angels. The Lord is among them as in Sinai in the holy place. So the point is about the feathers. So the feathers we know represent flight. Even common sense tells you what do feathers represent. How do birds fly? With feathers, it represents flight. And the serpent can represent many things. The serpent can represent power. It can represent it could represent wisdom, right? The Lord Yahushua said, be wise as a serpent, harmless as a dove. How can it represent power? The angels, the seraphims in Isaiah 6, they were known as seraphim. The word seraphim means fiery flying serpent, which can represent power. The missiles, right, in Isaiah 14, they're known as serpents as well, the cockatrice. You know, so when Israelites said Quetzalcoatl, the feathery serpent, you know, they said he came in a chariot and he came in great power. You know, so back here it says turquoise or fire serpents in Nahuatl could represent lightning, linked the two worlds of sky and earth, like I said before about the link between the two worlds, sky, heaven and earth. An impressive stone welcomes visitors to the Mexico Gallery of the British Museum, and two such creatures adorn the sunstone, carrying the sun across the stone on its daytime journey. Alright, and that was it on that right there. Let's go to let's show you that he wasn't a cracker, you know, because that's what these scholars like to say. This is from They Came Before Columbus, page 78. Alright, it says, the main source of confusion over his appearance has been the use of the word white in some traditions. Right? It says, this word has been completely misinterpreted by many scholars and has led to the most fanciful notions that it was a European who innovated civilization and religious reform in America. The myth and ritual, Slakia. It says, the myth and ritual, the pattern of religious expression in America differ sharply from those of Europe. It says, as Basil points out, the Quetzalcoatl of the Mexican Gallery, Slakia, of the Mexican Valley documents was never blonde or fair as stated by the friars, but virtually always pictured as black, bearded, and in illustrations had his face painted black. It says white in American Indian terms did not mean in pre-Columbian times. Caucasian, Quetzalcoatl did not have Northern Europe features. Native Americans spoke of him at times as being white in a symbolic sense, because the word, what does white represent? It represents purity. Right, you look up the word white, it represents purity. I'm going to go into this book called Lost Cities of North and Central America by David Hatcher Childress. Alright, let's go to page 231. Right. It says, when in 1519 Cortez and his 600 companions landed in Mexico, they were astonished at being hailed as the realization of an ancient native tradition, which was generally told as follows. Many centuries previously, a white man, which we know is a black man actually, because that's disinformation, had come to Mexico from across the sea in a boat with wings. What was that boat? It was chariots. The boat with wings represented chariots. That's why the Iscarites, they thought that the Spanish were like gods, because they came on those big ass ships with the fleets, you know, and those sails represented like feathers. All right, but the boat with wings, we already proved what the wings are. You know, those are chariots, like those of the Spanish vessels. He stayed many years, traveled all over North America, and taught the people a system of religion, instructed them in principles of government, and imparted to them a knowledge of many industrial arts. He won their esteem and veneration by his pity, his many virtues, his great wisdom, and his knowledge of divine things. It says, his stay was a kind of golden age for Mexico. The seasons were uniformly favorable, and the earth gave forth its produce almost spontaneously and in miraculous abundance and variety. In those days, a single ear of maize was a load for a man. The cotton trees produced quantities of cotton already tinted in many brilliant hues. Flowers filled the air with delicious perfumes. Birds of magnificent plumage incessantly poured forth the most exquisite melody. Under the auspices of this good white man or God, peace, plenty, and happiness prevailed throughout the land. So the Mexicans knew him as Quetzalcoatl, or the feathered serpent. The quetzal is a rare bird in the forests of Central America, whose long feathers were more valuable than gold to the ancient Mesoamericans. After some 20 years of visiting the various civilizations of North America, Quetzalcoatl eventually left the country. On his way to the coast, he stayed for a time at the city of Cholula, where subsequently a great pyramid surmounted by a temple was erected in his honor. It says, on the shores on the Gulf of Mexico, the island of Cozumel, it is often said, he took leave of his followers. It says, soothing their sorrow at his departure with the assurance that he would not forget them, and that he himself, on someone sent by him, would return at some future time to visit them. It says, Montezuma and his priests, this page 232. It says, Montezuma and his priests had been anxiously waiting the arrival of Quetzalcoatl since early in 1519. In the beginning of that year, there were many portents in the sky that showed that the tribulation of the Aztec Empire was at hand. For a time, the night sky was lit by a northern light. A volcanic disturbance caused the waters in the Mexico Lake to boil up and flood the city streets. The temple of the sun god went on fire. A spirit speaking a woman's voice wailed at night, my children, ruin is at hand." Magicians were called to interpret these signs. They could not pretend that their meaning was good. Montezuma had these magicians then strangled, for in magic it is some remedy to destroy the bearer of bad news, which is madness. You know, they're fucking crazy. That's why they went off. That's why they got fucked up. It says Montezuma